everyone. Hi. Come on in. Come on in. I'm inviting you into my home. Actually, this is my bedroom. So welcome. Glad you could make it and that you're checking out this video. If you're new here, you should know this right up front. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm a psychic. And I like to talk about crime cases based on my psychic perspective. So welcome. I do hope you stick around, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope you like the video as well. And before we get started, I just want to say something really quick. This man has always been on my mind since his passing 19 years ago. Steve Irwin. I always have this sitting back there. I've always loved Steve Irwin. I've always been upset that he's never come into my presence. But after 19 years, he's come into my presence. And I'm not going to talk about it on this channel because this is not a crime. There are no crimes related to Steve Irwin. I'll put the video on the other channel when I do it. So head over to the other channel. Just keep an eye out for Steve Irwin interaction video coming up in the next week or so. I definitely want to talk about it. It's really important to know this kind of stuff. Okay, what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about Charlie and Erika's situation. Specifically, here's the things I want to discuss. A ridiculous song that Erika's singing. Candace Owens gag order. We're going to touch on that. I do want to respond to one of your guys's comment questions, request for me to watch a video on Laura's View in Tarot 2. I'm going to address that video, as well as another person asking about JD Vance. Who is he? What's going on with him? What do I think about him? Do I trust him? Is he evil? What's happening with the man? So those are going to be the major points that we're going to be hitting here in this video today. We have some videos to watch that I find on other people's channels and stuff, and I take little snippets here and there, and then I share them with you. So let's go ahead. Again, let me just remind you, this is not a hate channel. I'm independent. I don't share my thoughts, or I don't share my position. I don't share my political position or my religious position, okay? I'm just here. I'm just here to reveal information. So first I don't hate her. I still don't hate her. I don't hate anybody. But when you start realizing more and more in the nonstop strange things about Erika Kirk, when would she have time to go into the studio and record a song? Obviously written about Charlie after his assassination. You tell me. Let's watch this video together.
I still see his smile in the morning light. Hear his laughter echo through the night. He stood for truth, he stood for grace. Now silence fills his sacred place. Oh, time moves fast, but hearts still ache. How could the world just look away?
How awful. How awful would it be for if Charlie was your loved one and you hear someone involved in his demise singing this song? I honestly don't know how Charlie's parents can stand it. As I mentioned in the comments the other day, if this was my loved one that had been taken out like this, I would be in the girl's face. I would demand answers. This song. How could she do this? And this song came out literally between 2 and 3 weeks after Charlie's death. Does anyone else see a problem with this? I'm sure the song was written for her to sing. When did she have time to go into the studio? It bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. What's the deal with this gag order and Candace Owens? I'm not going to get much into Candace Owens. I have no reason to get too much into Candace Owens. But yes, she was fired from Daily Wire, the news organization she was employed at, and it's debated if she was fired or she quit. From everything I researched, she was fired. It was written by basically for making too much noise, causing trouble. I'm just generalizing. I don't even know what some of these words mean. Honestly, like I've said, I'm not a political person, but I'm having to learn a little bit about politics reporting on Charlie's assassination. So, she has the gag order, and she has the gag order on Charlie's case as well. So she's not supposed to talk about it. She's already being sued by the president of France. The president of France is suing her for defamation and some other things. I don't want to get too involved in that case. That would be a whole nother set of videos. But you guys were asking my opinion. She's also banned from entering Australia. What? Yeah. Her visa's been blocked. So if she was somehow to land in Australia, which wouldn't happen, they would turn her away. My husband's Australian, and let me just say this. When you go to Australia and you land on their dirt, it's beautiful dirt, but when you land, you're not even allowed to take anything off the airplane, any food. They don't want your food coming into their country. You know, like I flew in from LA. They don't want any apples or fruit from Los Angeles landing in their land. They're so strict, and it's different than the US. You know, we've brought stuff back from Mexico. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, which is why we have problems. But I'm just saying, Australia is not going to let her enter the country because they said she is an extremist. That's one of those words, radicalization, radicalist, extremist, all these ist words aren't usually a good thing. Yes, she's a strong woman with her opinions, and she's good at debating, and we like that she debates men, and you know, it's a breath of fresh air hearing somebody go up against the men in the world. But my personal opinion on Candace's information, I'm not debating her debating skills. She's obviously very talented and very intelligent. What I do question is some of this personal private information she puts out. I think she honestly believes it. Like when Candace said Charlie indeed had an autopsy, that is not correct. It's not correct in my opinion. He did not have an autopsy. It is my opinion that she was convinced he had an autopsy. I'm sure she was convinced by someone or a group of people she either knew or were able to convince her there was an autopsy. I've even seen on someone else's channel a fake autopsy report that shows where the bullet went in. It's not Charlie's autopsy. Okay, it's a picture of a skeleton with arrows and stuff like that. It's not an official autopsy. There is no autopsy to be had, and we know why. And I'm going to show you a video. It's a quick clip from Mr. Let Go's channel. Again, I watch hours and hours and hours and hours of videos, and I grab snippets here and there that I think are relevant and I think are important for you to make sure that you see too. Did you know that Charlie and Erika sold their house in Arizona for over $5 million 8 months ago? There's just so much. There's so much. And we're going to talk about the anomalies from this other person's channel that I was asked to watch. Let's go ahead and go. Let me go back to the computer. Okay, I want to show you this clip. This clip's a little hard to hear. I'm going to turn up the volume. It's a little fuzzy. It's like a video of a video of a video, but it's very interesting information. Again, I took this clip off of Mr. Let Go's live show. So thank you, Mr. Let Go. If you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber. And Mr. Let Go is the name of his channel. He does videos, I think every day. He does live shows, I think, every day. So he's on it a lot. And I know someone from his team watches my videos because I just know. I just know. All right. So this clip opens with the governor of Utah, but ignore him. But what's important is the rest of this information. Okay, so have a listen. If you need to stop and rewind to make sure you read, then I would definitely recommend doing that, because I've had to do that too. I've had to watch and rewatch and watch this over and over to make sure I understand. All right, here we go.
Sadly, these most powerful companies on earth are suing us to prevent us from implementing these same...
So let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy been conducted, nor any findings released? No ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show. Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force 2? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear?
What's up, Mo Easy? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hey.
As Erika Kirk, raising questions of identity. Why are there no birth certificates for their children? No names revealed, no faces ever shown. Where is a video of Charlie playing with his kids at a birthday party, or picnic, or any other family setting? Why do Freemasonic and satanic symbols surround this tragedy with chilling precision? Interesting that the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. Isn't it interesting Kash Patel fired many of the heads of the FBI in that area days before the shooting? Do find it interesting that Charlie sold his house 8 months ago for $5 million? If the father of your 2 young children,
Biggest all-new.
for the world to see days ago, do you leave them home with a nanny while you go on podcasts grinning from ear to ear? Is it not curious that a 17-year-old first-time Donald Trump beauty pageant contestant won, and now Trump appointed a top attorney general woman who has no experience, who's also in his beauty pageant? This is only a fraction of the clues and evidence on this psyop. For those of you brave enough to look at the evidence while removing the preconceived emotions, the conclusion is undeniable.
Whistleblower alert. Utah's secret social media censorship plot to bury Charlie Kirk's assassination. Utah power players are slipping through a sneaky social media bill.
Yeah. So exactly. Somebody doesn't want us talking about this, which is exactly why we have to continue talking about it and keeping it alive. You know, it's like keeping someone's memory alive. And I've talked about, the more we talk about things, the more information comes. It just does. It's law of attraction. Very simple science. And I'm not smart, and I know that. I know about this little bit of science, okay? Like attracts like. Let's keep talking about it. And let's continue to get information, not only from each other, but also from spirit. Did you see all these weird things? I mean, this is the guys on the stage after Charlie got shot. We know that. This is a beauty queen who's now in a big position in politics. Here's Erika at 17 winning her pageant, which is very ridiculous. It's unheard of, really. They sold their house 8 months before. I'm sure Erika talked him into doing that. And then they're talking about the FBI and what he's done, firing people, the DNA on the gun, the signs. And if you look here at this picture, someone asked me in the comments, one of my subscribers, do I feel like Erika was pregnant? Well, if you look at this picture, now I'm fat now, okay, but I wasn't fat until I hit 50. And yes, after I had my kids, I went right back to my small shape. Not everyone is like that. So looking at this picture of Erika holding her son, you know, you see a little pooch there. That could just be her pooch. You know, she's not super young here. She's in her I think she's in her mid 30s at this point, mid to late 30s at this point. And I don't have confirmation on a pregnancy for her. And they do mention that in this video, never saying the children's names. But in that video we watched in my last video where Charlie's questioning her, you hear Erika accidentally say Gigi. So I'm assuming the little girl's name is Gigi, which is super cute. But I think that was a slip on Erika's part, revealing her daughter's name. So, yeah, we don't get to see the kids' faces. The kids don't have birth certificates. Pourquoi? Why not? Why not? Why? I mean, this feels like Meghan Markle so many times, over and over and over. Yeah, this venue was booked back in May. He died in September. Booked in May. Died in September. This guy was pardoned, and Charlie's body illegally being flown on Air Force 2. Where was the ambulance? Why was the crime scene paved over in cement? Let's dig up the cement. Let's tear that shit up. Dig it up. If I was in charge, I would say, dig it up. Let's see what you were trying to cover. Maybe there's nothing, but you know what? If people start literally digging into stuff, maybe more answers would be revealed. Here she is smiling a few days after the death. You know, the ammunition, the bullet, it's just all a mess. No autopsy. There's no autopsy. There's no known place of burial for Charlie. Where is he? From the very beginning, I've told you guys, I see him in Florida. I don't know what that means. He's not from Florida, I don't think. He's from Arizona. I don't know where he was born, but I just want it on record again. From day one, I've said, I see Charlie looking at Florida, and I am getting chills, which means Spirit saying, yes, that is correct. That is correct, Audrey. You are remembering your vision correctly. So that was from Mr. Let Go. So thanks for letting me clip that bit of video from him. And remember to go over and show him love, even if, you know, I don't agree with everything he says. I still, you know, we still need to respect the man, all right? All right, let's talk about Laura's view in Tarot 2. So this question comes from subscriber Angela Aid 663. Sorry, Angela, I'm sure I'm screwing your name up and I apologize, but I'll put it on the screen here. So she told me to watch a video on Laura's view in Tarot 2 channel. I found the video. I have limited response, but I do have a couple things I want to show you. It's not that I don't believe in tarot card reading. I have no problem with tarot card readings, but I don't know how to do it. And you have to learn how to do it. I don't know the verbiage. I don't understand the photos. So I can't really give my 2 cents on the cards that she pulled, you know? So I don't know how to interpret tarot cards. She seems to know what she's talking about. She seems to really, she seems to know tarot reading inside and out. I'll give her that, but I don't understand all her verbiage. So I can't really comment on her tarot card reading itself. But as far as the anomalies that she showed, she talks about and shows some different photos of Charlie the day he died sitting on the stage where his ring changes fingers, his ring changes hands. Also, I noticed, she showed pictures, she didn't say it, but I noticed the photos of one picture says freedom of him, and then the next picture doesn't have the freedom word on Charlie's white t-shirt. I don't think that means I don't think those are a glitch. I think those are intentional glitches made from AI. And I think it's done by a lot of people, and I don't think we should give too much energy in those photos. Remember when the whole thing happened with Kate Middleton and her cancer and the fake photos and the editing and all that kind of stuff? You know, we have to be careful with what we believe, as I've always told you. And in fact, this woman on this channel I'm talking about, she says the same thing. Use your own mind. Think for yourself. What do you think about these things? So similar to her, I'm saying this is just information. These are just observations, information being sent to you. Nothing's validated. Nothing's factual. So as far as spirit, my abilities to interpret things I see, I don't see anything real in those photos. In other words, I think those photos are just tampered with. You know, because it's weird. Where did the words go on his t-shirt? 1 second it says freedom, the next minute they're gone. It's gone. I mean, sure, anything's possible. It could be magic. I went to a magic show in Vegas and stuff happens right in front of your eyes, and it's like, what? I went to that famous guy. I can't even remember his name. But stuff happens right in front of you. And it's like, okay, I know I'm sitting here looking with my own eyes. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's magic. I'm not saying there was magic with Charlie, but what I'm saying is in a lot of these clips, a lot of these pictures, I think are just tampered with. They're just edited. You know, there's AI and stuff. We can do so much, just people like me at home with AI and stuff. For people who really know how to do it, they can really do it and make it look real. Some people can do it to the point where you can't tell if it's real or not. So technology is kind of biting us a little bit in the behind in some of these situations. But let me show you this picture. So why was the shooting of Charlie Kirk published on September 9th? 2 days. There's one review and it's got 1 star. So I've published all my books here that I've published. All of my books are published through the same system, through Kindle. You can print or you can have your stuff available to download on Kindle as well. And that's what I've done with my memoir there. I'll tell you, there's no way to fake a date on Kindle, on Amazon, when you're making a book. It's a process. It's a nightmare. It's not that difficult. Once you learn how to do it, it's easy to upload your book and change it and do the front page, you know, and to do everything. But I'm telling you, it's hard to learn. It was for me. And I'm telling you, there's no way to fake that date that says September 9th. How is that possible? This is weird. Some people pre-write books and wait for the event to happen so that they're already ready to go and to make money. We saw this in the Alec Murdaugh case out of South Carolina, who was accused of killing his wife and son, which I believe he's innocent of, but he was convicted of it, and the court clerk is now facing charges because of her involvement in the case. She had a book ready to go, and in her book, he was found guilty. She had already written the book, and she found him guilty. And so it's situations like that where you go, okay, yeah, I guess people actually, it's weird, but they really do this. They pre-write the books. And, maybe this Anastasia Casey, whoever this is, it may not even be a real name. All these books I have up here, I don't use my real name at all. I use a completely fake name. So maybe this Anastasia Casey knows enough to have written the book ahead of time, and it would be relevant and close enough to the actual events that she felt comfortable publishing it. I don't know, but that is definitely strange. But knowing what I know from the Alec Murdaugh case and Rebecca Hill, who wrote that book before the jury came back with a guilty verdict, it doesn't seem as strange to me. But it's not cool. It's not cool. Okay, also from one of the other anomalies that I found on that channel was this letter. Let's see if I can make it big enough to read. So she posted this letter. Sorry, my fan's blowing right in my eyeballs and it's driving my eyes crazy. The chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi David Yosef, sent a letter of condolences this morning to Charlie Kirk's family. Okay, well, let me blow it up bigger. So the date is September 2nd, 2025. We have Bible verse there with deep sorrow, blah, blah, blah. Charlie was a true friend to Erika and the 2 young children. It's hard for me to find words of comfort. So we have this letter. Is this letter real? I don't know. I mean, again, you know, especially with GPT chat and stuff, I've used it to create legal looking documents for my own personal stuff that I have going on that I need. So this could be real, it could be fake. I don't know. Everyone's saying about the involvement of the country that starts with the letter I. Why are we not supposed to say the country? I thought I lived in America. I thought I was born in America. I don't know where my freedom of speech went, but I can't verify if this is a legitimate letter or not. I just can't. And Spirit's not telling me anything other than, ugh. I mean, that's basically the response I get from Spirit. It's like, oh my gosh, like, I hear it over and over again. You wouldn't believe the cover-ups, the involvement, the fake things. Where's the real stuff? I know someone in the comments said they think Russia did it, and someone gave them a bad time about saying that, but it's like, who knows? I don't know. I don't understand all this politics. I don't. And I really don't want to. But like I said, I'm having to learn a little bit about it. So I don't know. This letter, I can't for sure say. And now I have another question for me to comment on something. And this is from Leanda God's True Water Maiden, a subscriber of the channel here. Hello, thanks for the question. Thanks for asking my opinion about the vice president. What do I think about him? Is he part of the opposition? Is he evil? Is he involved? Is he actually involved in this? In the assassination? It's my understanding he knew it was coming. He seems like a nice enough person to me. You know, he seems like just a normal guy. He's the, vice president and married to a woman named Usha. And I see with Usha, Usha's has had to been molded, curated, convinced, taught how things are going to go. Being uncomfortable, very uncomfortable with J.D. Vance's position, and his involvement and his behaviors and his job, not being 100% comfortable with it, not even being 50% comfortable with her husband's involvement. She's had to be taught, just like Erika Kirk has had to be taught, and shown the ways that things are to be done by the people they report to, so to speak. As far as J.D. Vance, again, I do not believe he's evil. I do not believe he was born evil, but I do see in his future, I see him changing. I see his personality changing. I see his politics changing, but I do see him changing in the future. He's going to get caught up, just like the rest of them, where you learn to live with the consequences in order to climb the ladder. As I said in the last video, if I were J.D. Vance, I would not want Erika. If J.D. Vance was running for president, I would not want Erika as the VP. You don't think Vance's people will turn on him just like they turn on Charlie just to get Erika in there because they can control her? So let's just pretend. Let's let our imagination take it to this place. Okay. JD announces his that he's running for president. He then later announces his VP being Erika. We pretty much probably can agree they have a good chance of winning, the two of them. And how far into the presidency after winning does something happen? Another assassination? Would that be too obvious? They don't seem to care about obvious anymore. They like doing things and throwing it in our faces. Maybe an accident of God only knows what. I don't even want to say. I don't even want to tell you what I'm seeing in my mind. Again, just because I don't agree with people doesn't mean I want to see them dead. Even mass murderer Brian Kohberger, I did not want him to get the death penalty because I want him to stay here and suffer with the rest of us. But he gets to do it from the jail, from the prison. So that's what I have for today. There's so much. There's so much to talk about. It's like I got to pick just a few things at a time to come and talk about. But there's so much more to talk about. And we have to keep talking about it. Yes, a lot of you are asking and believing. You're believing Charlie's alive. And you know what? I'm not going to discourage you from your beliefs. That would be a miracle. Again, I don't think he's alive. But if that's what you believe, you go ahead and keep believing in that. Because I could be wrong. Everyone could be wrong. You guys may be right. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking the video. And let's continue talking. Again, we may all have 4,000 different views and opinions on things, but it doesn't mean we can't come together as adults and discuss. Don't forget to head over to my other channel and go ahead and subscribe over there and click the bell for notifications, because when I post my video about Steve Irwin, you'll want to watch it. It's going to be about spirit and my psychicness and stuff. But after 19 years, the man finally paid me a visit, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It makes me cry. It makes me cry, guys. I love him. I just love him. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great day. And as always, I will try and get down to everyone in the comments and respond personally to everybody. All right, take care. I'll see you guys next time.